Hey everyone, I'm going to talk to you about moving analytics to the cloud. What would that look like? Why would you even do it? And how can DI help? You have multiple options for how to host Dimensional Insight products. You can host yourselves on your own hardware, or you can host in the cloud in a few different ways. We're going to talk about what it looks like to run our software in the cloud, but which cloud option is best for you, and even whether or not moving to the cloud makes sense at all, is going to depend on the capabilities, resources, and goals of your IT organization and of your company as a whole. Here are some common reasons to move an on-premise system to the cloud in general. The big one is the capital expenditure versus operational expenditure distinction. Servers and other equipment are expensive and require a big upfront purchase, which are repeated as hardware ages out over time. Ongoing subscription costs may therefore be beneficial. It also might be nice not to worry about power, networking, cooling, and redundancies for all of that, and even physical security. In theory, fewer technical resources are needed to operate systems in the cloud. There should probably be an asterisk on this one, though, because sometimes the result is just different technical resources, but we'll get into that later. Downtime risk, of course, is reduced, unless, I guess, you already have a state-of-the-art data center with redundant everything, a DR site several hundred miles away, and 24/7 staffing. Then maybe you already have this covered. But for most people, this is a big deal, and don't forget that service downtime isn't just annoying, it has real costs to your business's bottom line. And finally, there's a degree of scalability and pricing related to consumption, which is not difficult to adjust as conditions and needs change over time. There are basically three ways to get to the cloud: infrastructure as a service, software as a service, platform as a service. Great, I hear you say. What on earth do all these terms even mean? Infrastructure as a service is what you get from the usual generic hosting providers like Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure. On top of a normal sysadmin to handle the OS, you do need specific IT expertise, though, to successfully use these providers and avoid technical and pricing pitfalls. One thing we see a lot is that the way pricing works, there's often a desire to go cheap on VM instance model and resource allocation. If you do have any doubts on specs, please contact us for consultation, just like you can do for on-premise hardware purchasing. On the other hand, you may already be running a lot of other systems this way and be all tooled up and staffed up to be successful. So this approach may make a lot of sense. As to the other two options, the key difference is how much the service provider is doing to run the applications themselves versus you. In this context, DI is the service provider, and we operate both of these kinds of cloud services. With software as a service, we do it all, just add end users. With platform as a service, we install and maintain DIUC platform, and you use it just like you had it as if you had it on-premise. This all represents a sliding scale of responsibility, as we see here using industry standard terms. On the left, for on-premise, you're responsible for it all. The three cloud offerings gradually shift responsibilities away from you. So with infrastructure as a service, everything below the OS level is handled for you, but OS updates, VM provisioning, and everything above are your responsibility. In the last two columns, the OS and DIUC platform software are also handled for you, and then it's a matter of who is in charge of the content. Let's look at what we're offering to you in this space in greater detail. The difference between our two cloud offerings comes down to who is ultimately responsible for the applications your users interact with. With Interreport, our software as a service offering, DI handles all the details: ETL, reports, dashboards, user management, you name it. But if you want more control, like you would have if you were hosting yourself, we have DI Cloud, our platform as a service offering. Here you'll be leveraging the full power of Workbench and have total control over content creation. Either way, we rest on a strong foundation where we provide IT staff so you don't have to. We handle the hardware, the operating system, the DIUC software itself, licensing, monitoring, backups, power, network, cooling, and physical security. Of course, no matter what, you can always call upon our technical support and consulting resources as you see fit. We do have various add-ons and features that might be helpful as well. To name just a few, you might need multiple VMs, you might want dedicated hardware. You might want to keep your site off the public internet. You might want to use a VPN to get to your data warehouse, or you might want to use two-factor or Azure AD authentication. So if you do go for a cloud option, why host with us? You do get your typical cloud advantages, yes, reliability, security, and reduced CapEx. But you also get it on a platform specifically designed to do one thing: excel at running our software. After all, we are literally the ones who wrote it. It's also very easy for a technical resource to hop on if you need help. A pricing strategy doesn't require you to hire expertise to comprehend, and you aren't incentivized towards poorly resourced VMs. We just want to have you have the best experience possible running our software. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks for tuning in.